Hello, Flo. Hello, Maureen.
Mute. There we go.
Yeah, you're good.
There. Yes.
I like your glasses, Flo. Nice red. I like them.
Thank you. I have them all over the house.
I'm the same way.
them all over the house. Hey,
Yeah.
Maureen, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm so embarrassed. I missed the last. I can't even believe I was like
Well, it's nice to see you.
such a
Yeah.
total brain. Like,
You know,
Unbelievable.
I have, yeah, I always worry I'm going to forget this. I don't know why, but
It's so
Yeah.
memorable, Flo. Come on.
that must be it.
Well, you can forget after this. You can forget about it till September, whatever the
That's
date.
right.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, sorry, I'm just trying to find one of the buttons I need to
Karen.
click.
So this is really strange, but the minutes, I don't know if everyone else could see it, but on the document that Karen just sent out, Judy and I used to run into this. There's like a ghost, what do you call it? The header on the paper has the list of all the board members, but there's like a ghost very faint behind I'm gonna put it up now. It's the weirdest thing, but you could see Francis Cheney's name is still on there, who hasn't been on the board in like 5 years, and Judy's name is still there. It's the most peculiar thing.
I don't have that on mine at all.
I don't have
Okay,
it on mine.
You know, when I looked on my iPad, I could see it. And I printed it from my iPad, so now I have it printed and I can see that. But when I look at it on this laptop, which is not an Apple thing, it's I feel I'm embarrassed to say I can't figure it out. So I'll be working
Well,
on it
I
for like
think
the whole hour here.
I think you're very special. That must be it. You're very special. Messages from the beyond or something.
Well, that's how it feels. It feels like it is a message beyond.
Even
And
though,
I
I mean,
sending it to Judy saying, do you see she could never see it until she did the similar thing. I don't know quite what the dealio is, but
Yeah.
anyhow.
Oh.
hi, Joanne.
Yeah, it didn't come up on mine either.
Really?
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, it didn't come up on mine. Open it here.
Well, that's
I don't
very
know
good.
if it's, yeah, I can't even describe it, but
Okay, that's not in the minutes, but I'm gonna call the meeting to order, I guess. Did you hear from anybody, Karen, that anybody wasn't coming?
I did. Suzanne is not able to come, and Christine she is unfortunately not able to come. She has a family emergency, so she wanted me to send everybody her best. That she'll see us next month.
Well, I hope that works out.
So do we have
We
a
do.
quorum?
I think we do. Well, we have 4. Is that a quorum? That's a quorum,
And
right?
Mike McLean, welcome. Do we know who this is?
He's somebody. I saw
let
his name somewhere.
I'm the liaison from town council this year.
Yeah,
Thank you. Excellent. Oh, wonderful.
it's good to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Good to be here. I intend to just observe for the most part.
Okay.
I'm just really here in case there's anything that you guys want me to convey or needs, wants, whatever. I don't know that anything could be done, but I'm happy to bring any suggestions over to the town council. I did have on my home machine a message from one Barbara Morse, and I was wondering if anyone had heard from her, because I tried to call her back a couple of times. She's looking for a housing application, and I'm not sure she went to the right place. She's on 51 Old Nahant Street, and was wondering if she could be mailed an application for housing. That's all I know. I just got that message on my home machine. I don't know if anybody's heard from her.
No, but that's my my area, Mike. So I can maybe send you an email and you can send me her information. I'll make sure we heard from her at the Housing Authority.
Sure, that's great.
I wouldn't necessarily know, but
Yeah,
I can look into it.
great, thank you.
We're, as you may or may not know, Mike, Karen is a new director. starting her third month, I think, right, Karen? You're into your third month right now. And so we're sort of regrouping and re-energizing and moving, moving into the next thing. So we had a meeting, more of a meet and greet meeting for last month, not last month, in May. Our first meeting with Karen was sort of a meet and greet. And then last month we had a meeting, and today, normally we don't meet in the summer, but we decided that because Karen's new and we're reforming, that we would have a July meeting, and we won't have an August meeting, but we will have a September meeting, back to normal at that point. So Flo, I did call the meeting to order. You got that right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. And I can't find my agenda. There's something going on with my computer, but I pretty much know what it is. So the first thing would be to look at the minutes of June 8th. If everyone had a chance to at least scan them and identify, are there any, like a motion to accept them or modify them if needed?
So I just want to point out, full disclosure here. At the very end, just before I closed out the minutes, I listened to the recording, I watched the recording,
Yeah,
and it looks like we did not seek a motion to accept the director's report. So I don't know if we need to do anything to make that right or not, but I just want to make sure everyone notices that we didn't do that.
I saw your note there and I think, well, do we ever do that? And I guess we do it, don't we? But
We do. We asked to approve it.
yeah, okay.
My note taking isn't perfect, so I always go back to the video. See
Thank
what
you.
I missed.
Okay. So let's see, how would we do this? I think we can accept the minutes as written, and then we would have another motion to accept the director's report from the June 2022 meeting, I believe would be the way to do this. Since
Okay.
you recorded the meeting accurately, so these are the minutes as they stand.
Okay, I like that. Does
and we
that sound
will-
right?
Yeah, we'll take another motion after we dispense with these.
So I move that we accept these minutes as written.
Second,
It's gonna have to be Joanne, yeah, I have to abstain.
okay, Joanne is raising her thumb. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Joanne, is Joanne here?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
see her?
Oh, I'm
She's
sorry.
down in the corner. Yeah.
I don't see you,
She's in the
Joanne.
corner on my screen.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I see there are 6 participants, sorry.
Joanne,
I'm here. I'm here.
I see you now. I didn't click over far enough.
So she seconded the motion. Okay, so minutes are accepted as written. In error, we did not vote to accept Karen's report last month, which was a verbal report. I don't believe we had any paper documentation, which is fine. But can we have a motion to accept what Karen told us and vote it into the official record? I'll make them, I'll make the motion.
Yeah, again, I think I'm gonna have to abstain, so.
Okay, I make a
Okay.
motion to accept the director's report from June 8th, 2022.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, so that stands as a separate item. The financial report is second and is next, and we got two today from Karen.
Yeah, so May I populated after the meeting with the amounts, and then June I can't populate with the final yet because they haven't closed out the month yet, pending end of year closures. But I can report the expenses that we had for the month, and then
Right,
I'll
so let me
update the
just
spreadsheet
clarify
and
what-
send it to.
Can I just clarify what you're saying, Karen? Because I'm looking at these two and they're almost identical in terms of the finances. Is that because?
I highlighted. Yeah, I highlighted in June the blue because those numbers will change once June closes out.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why they're in blue. And then just
that's blue
before
on
you
yours?
go, before you go through this, just along the top line, you have where it says next to expenses to date, which are in blue. I see that. It says February. Is that true? February? Is that an accurate?
Yeah, that should have been changed.
Okay.
That should be changed. So I'll change that now.
What are you gonna change
For
it
the
to?
first, there's 2 tabs. The one tab is May, and I will change those. Thank you.
So those are for the month. So one would be May and one would be June. Is that the correct? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Everybody see that, or if you had a
and
chance?
I'll change.
And Karen, while you're fixing things, you probably want to capitalize the O on COA budget,
Oh,
just a
yeah.
typo.
So Mike, I don't think you see this. You don't see this probably, right? What we're looking at are just a financial and a participation reports for May and June. And as Karen just said, June doesn't have figures in it yet because of money figures in it because it hasn't been closed out yet. So not that the COA is a big spender, but you know, they do spend money. Okay, thank you, Karen. Go ahead.
Okay, so for June, we had some expenses for our intergenerational lawn games and to stock up. I wanted to get some things for our Eat Local, like some drinks and snacks and stuff before the fiscal year closed out, because we had a bit of money left in that budget.
Yep.
And we also ordered office shirts and vests for that say, it has the Wakefield with the bandstand, and then we put Council on Aging on the bottom. So for our drivers and for all the staffs, when we have events
Oh, nice.
and things like that, we can wear those and.
I'm
look
sorry,
official.
Karen, what are they for? I didn't hear what you said this was for.
Oh, for the staff, Judy had gotten a few years ago, the Wakefield one with the bandstand. We've had enough staff turnover that I ordered some additional shirts. So when we have
Oh,
events and
shirts.
things, we can wear
Got
a
it.
shirt that says Wakefield, and we added Council on Aging on the bottom. And then I got a
Nice.
couple of extra shirts, vests that we can keep here in the office. So if somebody's working with us and they want to wear one, then we have the extra vest you could put on, like for
Excellent.
out at something.
Nice.
We got those for the shop. And then just we got another order of stamps to close out the stamp budget for the year. So we'd have more stamps for our next mailing.
Well, the
And
price.
that was really it, no big expense.
We got them before the price.
Yeah, exactly. And before the price went up.
Good, good.
So I spent $139.20 on stamps to close out that budget and yeah, get us stocked up before it cost us more. And I also spent $83.30 to order 4 magnets for the vehicles. So you'll notice if you see us now, the vehicles all have a Wakefield Council on Aging.
Nice, okay.
Oh, excellent.
So that's our. Mhm.
Very nice. For the door or
so
for the
that-
back or where do they go on the vehicles? On the, in the
For the
side?
doors.
For the doors, perfect, good.
Yeah, they're on the
Nice.
sides, one on each.
Oh.
And then outstanding, I guess budget, I don't know if you want me to talk about it with budget or in the director's report, for the furniture that have been outstanding from back in April, I think even before April, from the Wilcox Fund. They had been approved for a budget of up to $10,000 for new furniture for the library. And there were supply chain issues and other issues. So the furniture had been on hold. So I spoke with the decorator today and she's gonna resend me out the chairs that Judy had selected, and we're gonna pick fabric and see what's still available and look at the budget. And we may relook, I wanted to talk to the board about this. But am I going to, should I wait so you can approve the first thing and then move on?
I
feel
think
like I
maybe,
intermixed things too much.
yeah, the furniture sort of new business or in your report, maybe we should, let's stay with the the financial report, and so we can vote it into acceptance, okay? All right, so any questions about any money, any of the top half of the report, any money part? And then the bottom has to do with the June figures, not participant numbers have been added, as you can see. And I did have a couple
And
questions.
the gas. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, well, you're gonna say something about it, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, the gas is up to date. So the DPW transfer of $430.89. That is the June. That's what we paid for gas in June.
Okay. How many miles is that, do you think? Do you have any idea? Or how many miles per month?
I don't know how many months.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's never thought about it before, but just wondered. All right, any other questions? Or
Our
anything?
rides have been up, so that's good.
And do people pay anything for the rides? Do they ask for a donation or $2 or whatever?
They started paying again, so it's free to come to the center. It's $2 for local and then $4 round trip for out of town.
So then where does that show in the financial report that we see? Or would it show?
It's not something that's ever been listed separately. I could start listing it separately and add a column. It gets it deposited in, so with the deposits for the month that will come out when I can do June, but it's not, if you want me to start listing separately what we get for classes versus rides, I can start separating that out.
Well, do you break that down for yourself, for your own records? Or would it be, I mean, I think it could be.
Yeah, I'm due to do a
information.
deposit at the end of the month.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want
It
to
goes
be,
together if for what. In the past, it's just gone into what, if it goes in this, I separate it by which account it goes into.
Mhm.
But I can get more specific because we do keep it separate when we're collecting.
It's something I would be very curious about, not for any policy, not for any policy reasons of any sort, but I think I think it would be good to know as a Council on Aging board, kind of what the residents of Wakefield are offering, are paying for services, not because, yeah, I don't know. If anybody opposes that, please speak.
Well, I don't think that it's a bad idea, only that when we go, when Karen, you go to the town for the next fiscal year's budget, you may need to ask for an increase in this line item. Gas prices are, as high as they
Right,
are, everything is
exactly, yeah.
increasing, so even if you collected it on your own, as long as you were, that just might be helpful in the future. If you need to ask for an increase.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And it
I can
also,
do that because it is still, but it's voluntary. So I think that's great information to collect.
it could be, if there's ever a grant and you have to indicate in kind, participate, anyway, yeah. So thank you. That would be, I don't want to make extra work for you, Karen, but I think it would be helpful to see that.
Oh yeah, that's no problem at all. We keep it separate in the state so I can just start tracking it.
Thank you. Okay, bottom part, the programs, classes, attendance, any comments, questions, clarifications? Karen, from you or anyone?
Transportation has been up, so that's great. We brought on a couple days a week when we have a lot of rides, we bring on a second driver to help with that, or we do backup if the driver can't make all the appointments we have booked. The gym attendance has been up. Programming was a little bit down in June compared to May, but we had one of our instructors was out, so that canceled a few classes, and we did have Juneteenth was in there. So the classes, I think, are what the biggest indicator of that were.
And look at
But
that.
overall,
the
we've had
numbers.
some.
I do have a question, and so it says, all right, so it's focused on the month of June. So there's gym, 62, transportation, 92. So those two together are like 154, right? So, and then, but the big number is 860. So I'm a little unclear about, is that 62 a week or 62 for the whole month? For the gym, for example?
That's for the whole month. That's for the whole month. That's for the month of June.
So the other, 700 or so people, 700 plus people, what are those? They're coming for the crafts, they're coming for bingo, or bridge, they're coming for wood shop, what are they coming?
Everything else.
Everything else?
Yep.
They're coming for everything else. Yeah. Exercise classes, bingo, poker, bridge, the crafting classes, the movie, so everything else.
Would this
So
be,
all the,
Oh, I'm
Any
sorry.
activity. Well, just all the activities as I have understood it, right?
So anybody who comes in
Yeah,
for
all the activities.
Shine program or to use the computer or to see Beth, we're trying to capture all that too in this number, I assume, right?
Yeah, you know, actually, it hasn't. That's actually a very good point that you make, because it has not been capturing. It's been capturing activities, but it has not captured like an appointment with Beth or an appointment with me or something. So we should add that.
Yeah, that would be
I'll
good,
talk to Mary
right?
Ann so we can,
Yeah, yeah.
because some of those are people who aren't necessarily members that check in, but I think that's a great idea to add.
Yeah. And you know, because it's, they still, people have to come into like the office to check in, right? It's not at the front door. Yeah,
Well, if they
Right.
have a card, they can swipe in, but yeah, that's or whatever they do.
but they still have to go to the office to swipe in. You can't, you can walk, anybody can really just walk in the building, right?
Right. So then they come into the office and we have the scanner, and you scan your ID card or your
Yeah.
card, and then you click the activity that you're going to. And if somebody doesn't have a card, then we can sign for a card, a participation card. So I think that's a great idea to add in Shine appointments and appointments with Beth. And we could even add in, if the board wants us to, we could add in appointments with Dave for veteran services, although not all of those are going to be your 60 plus. He's actually very busy. So it can show activity that's happening here.
But
even
it's
though not
activity
60
under
plus on all of
your,
them.
on your watch. It is all activity on your watch. You're responsible for what happens in that building. So you know, when the senior center's open. So yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay, I can check with Mary Ann to see how we can check his veterans and who aren't necessarily
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah.
get us membership, but at least we could track how
Right.
many.
Well, the Shine counselor would also know.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, they'd know. They don't have to swipe in necessarily, but they'd know. And I assume
Yeah.
Beth would know how many people she saw. Okay,
But at
thank you.
least, well, I mean, if they swipe in, then it's kind of a double check.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably better for reporting to have it all.
But they may not have a car. I mean, I don't know if everyone who comes to see the Shine or the vet or the vet, you know, or Beth even has, they have them, if they swipe, if their car, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and Beth has a lot of phone outreach.
Mm.
She's very busy with phone calls.
Is she paid out of this budget? Your budget? Or is she paid out of?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a senior center of, yeah.
I thought some of
Yeah,
her
we said-
salary is from the housing authority, no?
No, we
It
pay
is.
her separately. She has two jobs.
Okay, oh, all right. Oh, okay, so she has two jobs, got it.
Okay.
Does. She wears two hats, or many hats, actually.
Many, yeah, I think many, yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments? I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be quiet. Any other comments about the financial report or questions? And the usage report?
I'll make a motion to accept the financial reports for June of 2022.
Thank you, Maureen. Second,
I'll second it.
Joanne, thank you. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, perfect. Okay, director's report, I believe, is next. You want to start with the furniture? I don't know.
So, yeah, so it's kind of a combination thing. So our furniture, back in April, they picked out the style chair they wanted, and they couldn't
Yeah.
move forward because there was a supply chain issue. So I was in touch with the decorator today, and we're going to try and move forward with that. She's going to get me some quotes. $10,000 had been approved through the Wilcox Fund for the budget. But hot off the presses this week, our treadmill stopped working. The band got moved over. So I called for repairs, and they came to repair it. And in order to repair it, we need a new belt because our belt has small cracks, and we need a new base. So that is $895 to repair. So the treadmill is so old, I think it's worth considering just upgrading to a newer treadmill. And that treadmill is probably 12, 15 years old. So the pricing on a new treadmill comes in at just about $3,000. So one thought would be to instead of getting 8 new chairs for the library, because we do have some chairs that are in good shape, to get half new chairs and then be able to use the rest of that Wilcox budget to upgrade the gym equipment,
Wow.
and continue to be able to operate that safely. Or if you don't like that idea, then it would be to move forward with the library part, all the chairs for the library, but then we'd have to find different funding to upgrade the treadmill, because it's definitely one of the most heavily used equipment. And while I'm upgrading it, I would like to order an elliptical machine so that we offer a good low impact walking type of exercise that would give us a little bit more offerings in the gym. It would give us the treadmill, a bike, an elliptical, the rowing machine, and the weight machine.
Nice.
We order them together. There is a bit of a discount in the delivery and in the installation.
Oh,
And
good.
that's about the same cost, $2,900.
So an elliptical and a treadmill together would be roughly what?
Roughly like $5,500, I think, once they
And
give
what-
us the discount of getting them together.
And the Wilcox Fund, does it have enough interpretive space to include something or to use it for something like that? I mean, I don't know what the.
So what Judy had told me is the furniture upgrade was approved for a $10,000 budget. So if
Yeah.
we did it within that and we got less chairs and we readjusted to a bit of gym upgrade, I think we could do it. And I think the library would still look nice. But that's not, I wouldn't ever make that decision without board discussion and approval. And if we couldn't do that, we'd stick with the $10,000 budget for the chairs for the library, and then we'd have to seek alternate funds for the gym equipment.
Mm-hmm. So you think everything would look okay with some new chairs and some of the old chairs? I mean, I think they look okay, but I know there was a desire to upgrade it because they were looking a little shabby, but.
Yeah, I think so. We have 4 that are definitely shabby looking. Marianne and I went out there today and really gave them a good look. We have 2 that are
good.
leather based that actually look very, and we have 2 that are matching that look nice. So because the way we have the library is 2 pods of 4, we thought we could put the older chairs in one pod, newer chairs in the second pod, and then eventually we could upgrade the other pod. But they look very nice. They're not in bad shape. The 4 that we would get rid of, are definitely a couple of them are stained, and those ones are not great. But the 4 that we have that we thought were okay look fine. And I could take pictures and send them out to the group.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, we don't.
I
I
don't
could
think
walk out
that's
there
fair.
with my laptop.
Nah, it's okay. We've got you.
We
Furniture
believe you.
selection by
I think the
committee.
gym equipment's a good idea. 'Cause
I do
Yeah,
too.
I
it
do
seems
too.
like a lot of people use the gym, and so that's,
Yeah. So
Right.
do
you know,
want us-
that's a big thing, so.
I'd rather pay money to have people exercise than to have them sit.
Ah, there you go.
That's the nurse in me, but.
I think it's
That's what
healthy
I was thinking
living.
too, especially because I'm like, oh. Right, I was thinking the same. It really supports our healthy living, and I thought, well, these chairs are really not that. The 4 of them, I'm like, well, these chairs are really in very good shape, so I don't think they necessarily need to spend
Yeah,
all the money.
yeah. I mean, I know there was a concern because it's the first thing you see when you walk in and all of that, but I think, go with, I don't know, we should probably make a motion to go
Yeah.
one way or the other, right?
Yeah, I think that would make the record official if we vote to yay or nay. So what are you proposing to us, Karen? You're proposing that we
I think, you want me to try it, Karen? I can make a motion to use the Wilcox funds to replace 4 of the library chairs and to purchase a new treadmill and elliptical machine. Does that sound right, Karen?
That's right.
Anybody want to second it? I will second it, but if
I'll
somebody.
second it.
All right,
Yeah.
well, all right, any approval and all in favor?
Aye,
Hi.
Joanne, you're good? Okay,
Joanne's waving, yep.
so there's nobody left to oppose. Mike, you don't get a vote, so too bad, no matter what you think.
So that's okay. I have plenty of votes on the other. thing.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, so that's a separate,
Thank you.
that's a step out of the director's report. What else you got first?
And then if there's a problem and it's all gonna cost more than the 10,000, we'll be back here and we'll talk about it again then, right? Or can we give you discretion to spend another 2,000 if you have to get all of what we just talked about? I I mean, should we build something like that in, or I
Good point.
don't feel the need to micromanage how many chairs get redone or
Right,
whatever.
Is there other money that could be put towards, let's say it comes to 1195, do you have other money available?
Yeah, there's some in the revolving account, so I think I could do that. And typically our office budget, we have a bit of extra, so I think we'd be okay with a little wiggle room. If it was going to be more, then I would come back.
Okay, so,
Then I come back, or I could potentially look at other chairs.
okay, great.
Good idea, Flo.
Come
So,
back with the actual prices if,
Yeah,
Yeah,
or just give you like discretion to spend an additional 2,000 if you have to.
yeah.
So you can
you
order
want
it
me
all.
to amend? You want to amend the emotion? Or, yeah, all right, I can amend. We didn't vote on it, right?
Oh, we
did
did, yeah, we
So need
did.
a second motion, yeah.
All
We
right, so
did
I'll
vote.
make a second motion that Karen has the discretion to use additional funds if it does go over $10,000. Up to what? Do we want to even say 2,000 more or 3,000? Or actually, why don't we just say that she should just, she has discretion to spend some additional money if the prices go over the original $10,000, as long as she reports it to the board.
I like
Like
that.
not asking for permission again, but just let us know.
I like that. I'd second
Yeah, I
that.
do
Okay.
too. Thank you. Yeah, you seconded that, right, Susan?
I did, mm-hmm.
Thank you. Just so we don't have to go back and forth, because you do get a
Right.
deal with buying it all then, and
Right.
All in favor of the second motion to allow?
I,
Okay, Joanne, you're okay, and nobody's opposed. Okay, great, thank you. Perfect.
thank you. The field trips have been very popular. I like the idea of tracking the ride information, especially because someday they're popular enough that people are upset because our bus is smaller. So right now on the local ones, Lisa is attending, the activities director is attending with people, so we can only bring seven of our participants. So a lot of people are excited about the trips. I've worked with Stoneham Council on Aging we're going to offer 2 trips with Fox Tours in September 28th is going to be one to the Turkey Train. And then in December, there's going to be one to Newport. And I partnered with them so that we could make sure we fill the bus, because we would need to fill 40 seats. So we're going to split it and do 24 and 24 to do those
Nice.
offerings. We hesitated at first to see, because they're $99 each, but our Council on Aging Day at Sea that we're doing with all the local COAs are meeting in Gloucester for the boat trip, sold out in probably an hour, and people were very upset that was sold out, and that was $103. So
Wow.
I think that people are willing to spend that and they really want to do.
Mhm.
So
So
we
how
have
many
those
people-
2 trips coming out that are.
How many, for the Gloucester one, how many people were able to come from Wakefield? Go.
For Gloucester, we allowed 8, because I'm going to go, but I'm going to drive myself there so that I didn't take a seat, and I will meet Bob and the bus in Gloucester, and I'll go on the boat with them. But I didn't want to take an extra
Wow.
seat, so the 8 people get to go. And we
Wasn't
did
there one-
restrict that to Wakefield because of the numbers.
Wasn't there one today somewhere to Castle Island or something? Did that happen today?
There was. They went to Castle Island today. We had one last minute cancellation that I couldn't fill the seat, but we had 6 people went with Lisa and Bob to Castle Island. They all had a great time.
A great
I've got a
discount.
picture we're going to post on Facebook, and our trips have started, and both of the other trips are full with wait lists.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
People are hungry,
And
obviously.
I'm looking for, yeah, I think so, that, and then we're looking to update some of our classes, like some of them are super popular. So Katie, our physical therapist, is going to work with me to change up our strong and steady class on Fridays to do something that may have even more interest, so that we can have some other offerings. And I'm going to start looking for a yoga or Pilates instructor. And we've had a lot of people expressing interest in that. And we're going to start exploring and see if we want to bring back line dancing to try that. So putting feelers out for different types of instructors and different types of programming we can offer that are similar to the exercise, but in a different way, because the exercise
Nice.
classes continue to be incredibly popular.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
And Marianne and I have been working on the wait list for the exercise classes with the instructors to see if we can do any movement, because right now what we've discovered, and I'm going to work on a policy letter that I'd like to send out to all of you in September for your approval before I send it to in our newsletter. What we've discovered in talking to a few people is once they're on the list, they think it's like a gym membership of, oh, I can come when I want and not come when I want. So they're only coming once a month to a very popular exercise class with 40 people on a wait list. So I want to come up with a policy that just talks about, you know, like an expectation of you attend 75% of the classes, or come up with some number that we can send out so that we get people who are signed up on the class that really want to participate regularly, to help avoid some of that, because you'll have a class that can have 30 people and only 19 people show up, but it's consistently happening.
So Karen, I have a question. That was part of my question about when we looked at the numbers before. So that, let's say there were in June 62 people that came that are reported in the gym. Oh, wait a minute, that's the gym. That's not the exercise classes.
Right.
I'm confusing the two. Okay, so the participation in, all right, that's the gym. All right, never mind. I retract my question.
Oh, no, okay. So we do keep track of each thing separately. So Marianne and I will look and we'll say, oh yeah, so Zumba, 18 people showed up. So we have room. So we have to work with the different instructors to see how many they're willing to have in the class, and then see who we can move up. The classes are all full to capacity as far as the list goes, but we definitely have people who are not regularly coming.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to sort it out in my head of how I want to word it, and then involve all of you to see what you're thinking once I come up with the first draft of how we want to help maximize participation and allow people who are on this wait list to go, without having to necessarily just open it up and not do the list anymore, because for capacity reasons, I don't want to have people show up and have to turn people away.
But what about just having people, is there a way with the current system to have people like sign up with, 24 hours in advance? They're either coming or they're not. And then once, I don't know, like I go to this yoga place and, I have to sign up that I'm going to go. And if I don't go, my account gets charged for my attendance, even if I, bag out at the last minute. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems a little fairer, because you've mentioned this, I know Judy had mentioned it a while ago too, that, you have 20 people in the room, but you have a wait list and you have extra space in the room. So it just seems like, those people are going to go somewhere or not. I don't know, but.
I think, there's a labor issue.
Yeah.
with that. I mean, I do the same thing at the YMCA, but we do it, you have to sign up for classes, but you do it online.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go, so nobody has to be there answering the phone. I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
Is that your
So
yoga studio like that?
Yeah, I do it online. So is there capacity, Karen, to interface with the system online, for the clients?
There's not, but I can have, Marianne's our main point of contact for My Senior Center program. So I'm going to have her check into it to see, because labor wise, we wouldn't be able to have people calling for it, because
No, you don't want to go there, but.
That's a good idea. We could start looking into that to see if that's a possible solution.
Now, prior to the pandemic, how did it work? I wasn't, how did it work? Was it just open, show up?
If I remember correctly, you just came, because you'd have some classes that you're like, elbows to elbows. So I think that you could just come. And then when we had to restrict the number is when it went to having an actual participant list.
So is that still desirable to restrict the number? I'm just throwing it out there, with COVID. I mean, is it still limited because of COVID, or is it a free for, are we is the town? I don't think the town's limiting anything anymore that I know about. Mike, you might have something to say there, but I don't know. Is there, I hear the problem with the system totally, but what if there was no restriction?
No restriction.
Yeah.
Right.
We could try and see. I think some of the popular classes would probably be too overcrowded. And I think some of it is a comfort level with the instructors.
Okay, well, that's important.
With having, if people show up for in our space.
Well, and with your.
I think
Okay.
Zumba, I think, would be a nightmare, because I think we'd have a lot of people show up for Zumba.
Yeah.
But yeah, thinking about.
Maybe some of the classes only, you know, the more popular ones, yeah, they could require pre-registration, but some of them might not have to if, you know, you don't, I don't know, I'm just putting it out there as one of the possible solutions to, and to help the senior center feel more maybe accessible to some people who get tired of being on the waiting list.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and we have a lot of people on the waiting list. Even within the waiting list, we have different we have two different categories because we have Wakefield and then we have non-Wakefield residents on the waiting
Oh,
list.
yeah.
Because some other centers have a lot of offerings. So we have a lot of Reading people, for example, on the wait list.
Wow.
Because they don't, I don't know if they don't have the exercise classes right now, but we do have a lot of non-Wakefield people on that list.
Okay,
If they're in the class, we haven't kicked anybody out and said we need to kick you out for a Wakefield person, but we are bumping the Wakefield people as a priority on the wait list.
good, okay.
Well, and you know, to consider adding classes that's a good way to go too. Because I think people are more.
And then I was
comfortable
hoping everybody,
about-
yeah, that we could look at that too. I think Judy had told me too when I started, she said we could fill exercise classes all day long, but then we're trying to branch out to offer some other things too. So
Right,
we want to do, I'm hoping that the group might be willing to, and I have to check what the rules are if we were willing to meet in person in the fall to do strategic planning and maybe come up with what we want to do for our needs assessment. So I don't know if we're allowed to meet in person, not have it have to be an open meeting law and we can just sit in a room and get together, or if we have to meet the open meeting laws if we do a strategic planning session. So I have to check with Sherry. I don't know what the rules are on that.
I think when, a couple months back, we were talking about not having an official, it wasn't an official COA meeting, it was a I can't even remember what it was for, but it was a brainstorming session for something. It wasn't an official COA meeting. So I wonder, and does anyone remember that? I'm not making this up, I know it. But we were thinking about having a, you know, just off-date meeting in person
Yeah.
to talk about I think it was age friendly, actually. The topic was going to be the age friendly, not the full senior center, but you know, age friendly is part of what you're talking about too, I think. Programming and needs assessments all falls in the same bucket of where do we go as a town with our age friendly commitments or goals.
Would you all be willing to meet in person if we could set something up for the fall?
Oh, yeah. We can see the new furniture.
I do,
Right.
I do think
Ready.
you should definitely ask Sherry because
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
know with the Housing Authority Board, if there are 3 board members present, then it has to be officially
oh,
posted.
I see. So it's considered a
If
meeting.
there's a quorum present, I don't know
Yeah.
if the Council on Aging Board is different, but I know that that's how our rules, I
okay,
think that's probably the law, the open meeting law, but and that's okay to do. I think you can have like subcommittees too, but if there's more, again, if there's more than, so if the subcommittee is you, Karen, and 2 people, you know, and then you report back to the whole board, then maybe you don't need to have it, you know, posted. But if it's a quorum, that's just my understanding. Could be wrong. I am not an attorney.
I think that might be it too. And I need to check with Sherry to see, okay, even if we're willing to post it and say we're going to do strategic planning and we can post the meeting, could we do it in person? Because it would be different than how the town does all the other meetings. So I'll touch base with Sherry
Yeah.
Okay.
to see what
You
if
know,
we're allowed.
Just, we do a retreat every year and so I would definitely say check with Sherry for sure. But when we do our retreat, it is posted, but that meeting is a little bit different. We don't do it at CAT. We did it at the AmeriCal. And so I guess we weren't violating anything. It was posted, but we all, nobody shows up except for us to the
Right.
retreat for some reason, including, you know, the press or the item or the other press people that, you know, follow us. So maybe there's a hybrid like that she could suggest to you guys.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on the director's report, Karen, as we?
No, those are all my big things. And we're excited to continue summer with the other programming. The intergenerational lawn games worked out pretty well. We didn't have a huge crowd, but it was a good intergenerational event. People from the playground came over and joined us. So I thought it worked out well.
Oh, good.
Fun, and the weather was great, so that was
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, we lucked out.
that's great.
Want me to make a motion to accept the director's report for June
Yes,
2022?
ma'am. Yes, your motion
moved.
today, Maureen. Second,
I'll second.
all in favor of accepting the director's report?
Aye.
Joanne, good, thank you. Okay, I don't have the agenda in front of me, I'm sorry. I think age friendly,
H-friendly.
yeah, is, we sort of just stepped into that a little bit with talking about, when are we gonna talk about? When are we gonna talk about?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So that'll be part of the needs assessment too, to see some of the educational programming we'd like to offer with age friendly. So I think that'll be good stuff to talk about at the retreat or with whatever we're able to do in the fall together.
Retreat.
To really
That's
look at
see,
what
that's how
things
you
we
get
want.
around it.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that.
You know, I will, some of you know that with the Visioning 2030 that, and I complained loudly a couple times about the way they broke down the age categories for the respondents to the surveys that we did for Visioning 2030. And because 60 plus, every other age bracket was a decade. And then it was 60 plus, like everybody over 60 fell into one bucket. And they never changed it. It never got changed. So anyway, it happened, you know, and it's done and it's over. But now the master planning that's going on, which maybe you're tuned into, I don't know. But the second survey is out right now for master plan for Wakefield. And they broke down the decades of the age. So that was a win for age friendly, sort of, kind of
Susan.
recognizing that not
Nice
everybody's,
work.
I think it goes 60 to 70 or 60 to 69, 70 to 79, and then plus 80. It's one bracket, but anyway. So that process is ongoing, and it's, I'm not on that committee, on that advisory board, but they're, you know, moving ahead. There was the second focus group took place last week, the 29th, I think it was, and then, and more recently anyway, and then the other one, the next ones won't be until the fall, I'm pretty sure. So, but age friendly is part of that. So I think, you know, and I think the selectmen are aware, some of them are aware of our age friendly plan, and the consultant certainly is aware of the age friendly plan. So how, when and if or how anything gets folded in, which is our hope, I think, that, you know, they pay attention to what the work we've already done, or the town, not we, the board, but the town, this COA and friends have already done, so. So Joanne, have you seen the age-friendly report that came out? Do you have a copy of that?
I think I do. I looked at it briefly. I haven't
Okay.
really looked at it in
Yeah.
much depth.
It's
Yeah.
okay. You could put your fingers on it if we.
I
were
think
to-
I could dig it up. Yeah.
Okay, we could send it out again. Yeah, okay. So Karen, anything else you'd want to say about that, or anybody want to say about that? Okay.
One quick question, is the age-friendly report, is that something that's available outside of your board?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You like a copy? How many
Yes.
copies would you like?
It's
Is it
on
on
the,
the
I think it's,
website?
yeah, I think
Is
it's
it-
on the senior center website or
I
the
think it is,
COA
too.
website. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'll take a look at it.
If you
Nobody
can't
needs-
find it, let Karen know, okay? Let us
Nobody
know.
needs to do any work, I just, I don't always know where everything is,
I know,
but
yeah, yeah,
good work on the survey, and that's coming from the oldest member of the town council.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a big project. So, is there anything after age friendly? New business, oh, new business. Is there any new business? I just would like to
No, I'm in
say,
the middle. I am.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Did you
I
have new
think Sherry
business?
told me we're not supposed to put new business on the agenda anymore.
Oh,
So I apologize if I sent the wrong agenda that had new business on there, but when I sent it on the last one, she told me we're not supposed to put new business because it's too vague, so it needs to be more specific for, like, we can't just put new business and old business.
Okay. So you
So I
have to.
apologize. I must have.
well, where do we insert things we want to talk about that don't fall into any other category?
The
I
town
think
council
we just
call
end
it
up talking
something
about-
like unanticipated. Is there an agenda item on the town council, Mike, about like unanticipated items?
Yeah, but I was criticized for bringing something up on that. So ours is supposed to be extremely narrow. But it is there, you're correct. But you know, whether, I think it's almost supposed to be more of an emergency kind of situation. So
Right.
it might not help with this question, which is, well, why can't we just talk about something that popped into our heads, you know, that we
Yeah.
want to talk about?
Probably
Right, so
just,
it should be on the agenda unless, like, I agree, Mike, maybe you can talk to Sherry about that, you know, about what other town committees are using, what kind of, you know, what they call something
Yeah,
that you could discuss something that was urgent, unanticipated, you know, that you can't wait another month.
What,
okay.
about the
I'll
housing
ask
authority?
her.
How about the housing
And-
authority, Maureen? Do you have something on your agenda?
Actually, now I'm gonna have to go back and change my agenda because I think we have other business, so it's the same thing.
oh,
But no.
sure. You probably have to, like, if I want to talk about, you know, I don't know, the furniture in the front library, I should probably make that request to Karen directly so she can put it on for the meeting. Is that how it would work?
Right,
You make a request to add something to the agenda and you make it a specific thing, not just like, not something that pops into our heads.
right, and yeah.
There's some
Yeah,
good
I think
things that
so.
pop in our heads, but
Well, and it's so you can be prepared, and if
Yes.
anyone in the public that's interested in that
Yeah.
agenda item can participate if they want. But if they don't know we're gonna talk about it,
right. So it
then
makes
it,
sense.
you know,
Yeah.
defies the purpose of open meeting.
This is true. Yeah.
Transparency and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Get it. That makes good sense. So I guess then we should probably just be aware that if we want to talk about something, we have to request that it be added, right? We'll just, right?
Perfect. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, so I could send the agenda out if you want and then say, does anybody want to add anything? And then
perfect.
we
Okay.
can,
Yeah,
if
good.
anybody wants
Yeah.
to add anything, just add it on and then send it back to me.
Sounds good. Now, we get the agenda, Sherry sends it with
Yeah,
the
Sherry sends it, so.
invitation, right? I
yeah.
was just looking to, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
where.
I couldn't find mine either, so yeah.
Well, you
but
know
it-
what? She attaches it in the calendar, I believe, right?
But then when I save it to my calendar, it goes away. I can't.
Is that what happens? Okay,
I
thank you.
just, I don't know how to.
I don't
Probably
need
should
it.
print it before.
I saved it to every calendar this month because I was not missing. No, she sends out an
Yeah.
email, it's an attachment, and she sends it out usually pretty early, so if we
Yeah,
did have
She
something.
does,
you could amend
exactly.
it, you know, you could
Yes.
amend it.
Yep,
But then she'd have to send it out again, I assume, if. it
Yeah,
gets
she
amended.
would, but
Okay,
you
so-
can amend them.
Yeah.
Up to 48
So
hours.
I can start sending a draft out. I have to send it to Sherry within at least 72 hours ahead of time. So I can start sending the draft out 2 weeks before so that it gives people time to add it and then I can still get it to her within
All right,
ahead
yeah.
of that 72-hour requirement.
so, and
Sounds good.
Susan, I had the same issue then. I don't see it here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It went to my
So-
calendar. I mean, the meeting got saved to
Yes,
the calendar, but
yeah.
I don't know where the agenda went. So,
Oh, boy.
Mine did the same. The agenda went away when it saved to my calendar.
yeah.
Okay, so you save it before you accept the invitation, I
Yeah.
guess is the message here, right? Boy, oh boy. Okay,
Yeah.
This is a new business. It's comments and questions section, okay? Comments and questions. And I just would like to, state, Karen, at least from my perspective, you're off to a very strong start. And there's some good things happening and, it's exciting to see the the participation and the offerings as they change and grow. And it's just kudos, kudos to you for 2.5
Thank you.
months of good work.
My amazing team I have here. I'm
I
very
know,
lucky.
and pass it along. I know that you couldn't do it without Marion and Lisa especially, but yeah, please pass that along. So who cleans the
I
gym
will.
equipment? Who cleans it? How does it get sanitized? Just curious.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because we have it's supposed to be somewhat people do their own when they're done, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am going to do a thorough clean with some of my summer DPW assistants. So that's on the agenda because I forgot to mention, and see, this is why I agree. Like when I get talking, I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. We are going to bring the blood pressure screenings back.
Yeah. Okay.
We have 2 nurses who are going to be part of the tax work-off program, and I've connected them with public health.
Good.
So between them and the public health office and our new Wakefield nurse that we're getting, we're going to start having once a week blood pressure clinics, most likely in 2 weeks. So what made me think of that is on Monday, I'm going to have them deep clean the gym and the nurse's office. And then I probably will get it on the rotation of every Monday. It can be thoroughly cleaned, and then we wipe it down and check it daily.
Daily. Okay. Great. All right. Well, would anyone like to motion for us to adjourn, or before we do that, any final comments and thoughts?
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:25 PM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Thank you. Nobody's opposed. We have no meeting in August. So our next meeting will be the second Wednesday of September, whatever that is, at 6:30. I don't know what the date is. I'm sorry. And if we can do anything.
And I will make sure I send out if we add anything, or if to let people know of dates of anything important that you might want to come to if we add anything on there before that meeting that's not on the newsletter.
And if you do find out anything about, that we can meet offline or something for us, whether it's later in September, or early October, whenever it might be, I assume everybody's going to be sometime near their email during the summer that they would be able to respond to that, just to get a date.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send out a few options to see what works for everybody, and then we can go from there. I'll find out from Sherry what we can do.
Great.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
But thanks for coming, Mike.
Thank you very much for having me. See you in September.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Summer.
Thanks. Yeah, have a good summer, everybody. Okay, bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.